When I ask you what's the cutest thing you can think of, what comes to your mind? A monkey with a mohawk? Little tiny feet? A koala sleeping? Puss in boot eyes? This adorable little seal? While all of those are super, super cute and adorable, I think the answer's gotta be Baby Yoda. I mean, come on. We all know how cute Baby Yoda is. The people who created him are geniuses. They nailed his character. I love The Mandalorian. It's such an amazing show, and to be so captivated by a person when you can't even see their face, just a metal suit, is insane. But when it comes down to it, I'm really there for Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda has a really special place in my heart. When I watch the show, my heart breaks for him. If he's in trouble, if he gets stolen and Mandalorian has to go find him, or he passes out from using his powers too much, I just can't take it. My heart breaks. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if I can keep watching this because I'm just so on edge the whole time that something's gonna happen to this adorable, cute little guy. Oh, no. And I know his name is Grogu. I don't want you to watch this and think,
oh, she keeps saying Baby Yoda, she doesn't even know he has a name?
No, I know his name is Grogu. For some reason, my mind goes straight to Baby Yoda whenever I want to give him a title. I guess it's because that's how he started out. So in this video, I'm probably going to be saying Baby Yoda a lot, but I'm also going to try and say Grogu too, because it is his name. When The Mandalorian first came out, everyone was making Grogu cakes, and there were some really beautiful ones out there. And I wanted to make one so bad. I had it in my head, I was going to make Baby Yoda cake. But I ended up never finding the free time to do it. I was just too busy with other projects. So I was super happy when about 2 years later, I finally received an order for Baby Yoda. But they wanted a Baby Yoda cake topper to go on their cake. So I wasn't doing the actual full cake of Baby Yoda. I'm gonna be saying Baby Yoda way too many times in this video. I know that now. But finally, my dream came true. I got to sculpt Baby Yoda. Now, let's talk about cake toppers. They have the word cake in them, but traditionally, there's no cake in them. They're usually just made from solid fondant or chocolate, but that gets really heavy and is kind of a waste. So I built my cake topper up with tin foil, and then the outside of him is just going to be covered in modeling chocolate. I made a little template of Baby Yoda's face so that I could easily just transfer those proportions right onto his face and not have to go back and forth too much with making corrections. When you're making a character cake, it is crucial to get those proportions right because you want this to look exactly like the character. I don't want someone to look at it and be like, oh,
that eye's off, that nose is off, that's what, you know.
I want it to be like an exact copy. We're going for replica here. I would say the most important part of Grogu is his eyes. Those big bug eyes, little puppy dog eyes that just look up at you and you're just like, you're so innocent. You can never do anything wrong. Even though he's such a troublemaker and it's amazing. And second to that is those cheeks. Ooh, those adorable little cheeks that you just want to pinch. They're rosy already, so it's like you think someone's constantly been pinching them. And I just build them up with little round mounds of chocolate and then smooth it out. And of course the mouth that has this like natural little pout to it, but it always looks kind of cheery and smiley and just melts your heart. And then he has this little baby chin, but it's so defined. And then this adorable nose, the tiniest little nose. I'm telling you, these people, they just nailed it, these designers. They couldn't have done a better job at creating this character. I had to be careful with the wrinkles on his forehead and above his eyebrows, because if those were off, he could actually end up looking really angry, which I didn't want. So I really focused on those as well. I'm using modeling chocolate to create this whole piece, which allows me to really sculpt those super fine details and smooth them out exactly to the way that I want them. Right now he's got those short little ears. He looks like a little elf. I thought this was really fun because you get to see kind of what he would look like if he had really short ears instead of those really long outward ears. I love how they did his robe because it's reminiscent of Yoda's robe and the Jedi robes, but Baby Yoda's just a baby. He couldn't wear just like a regular open robe. It would fall off all the time. And he was in that little machine thing. He needed to be more comfortable. So I love that they gave him just a full onesie. And it has that amazing collar that just has his little head popping right out of, like a little cocoon. It's genius. I had a lot of fun with the robe because it had this wonderful draping and these little wrinkles all throughout it, which were really fun to sculpt and you can't really mess up. There's a lot of subtle textures on the robe that I really wanted to nail to really define it and give it that detailed look. One of those is the seams on the front and on the sides, and I went in with my little tool that has little indents on it to create a stitching look when you press it into the chocolate. There's also these stitching tools that you can buy that you just roll on and they give that exact imprint of stitching on it. I'll link that below. Even though he's a baby, Baby Yoda has been around for quite some time. I believe he's 50 years old in the show. So his robe isn't looking brand new, fresh out of the packaging. It's got some little frayed threads on the bottom and on the sides. So I make sure to include those details as well. I love his little arms. I love how the robe is so huge around them, but then there's these little tiny hands poking out, just like that collar around his head, creating that little cocoon effect. Same thing on the arms. You have that same collar surrounding this
little tiny hands poking out.
And then I just go in with my Dresden tool to create some texture. That really separates the robe from the collars on the side and on the top, so that's important detail to get that texture right. And I built up those ears as well now, so now you can really see Baby Yoda's face come in together. I feel a little bit of a relief once I've got him all sculpted and all those details and proportions are just how I want them. Now I get to have fun with the painting. I have to make sure to get the accuracy of those bug eyes on him, especially when I paint them. They're pretty dark in a lot of shots, but they do have some brown in them, a little bit of goldish brown. So I make sure to add that in, and then a little pupil in the center. What's going to be crucial for those eyes though is the highlight, the white highlight on them, because that's what really makes them glisten and pop. And I had to be super accurate with the color of his skin because it's a very specific pale green. A little too much yellow or a little too much green and it could get really like bright and lime looking, and I did not want that to happen. I made sure to add in that white and really pale it down because he does have a very pale pastel green color to him. And then he has those adorable rosy cheeks, and I had a lot of fun with that, making sure to get on all those little pink dots around it that create that little pinched cheek look effect.
Ow. And I just use my little tiny brush to create those little dots on that little rosacea cheeks.
To nail the highlight on the eye, what's really important when you do that is that you don't just make a little tiny dot on the pupil of the eye. You want the white to curve a little bit with the roundness of the pupil. That gives it a more realistic effect and will make it pop more. His skin color is pretty light all around, so there's not a lot of contrast with the darks and the lights. I have to very subtly shade it with those tones and take advantage of those recessive areas where I can go a little bit darker. Grogu's onesie robe is that adorable sandy brown color, and it does have some nice contrast in there. The robe is actually the largest surface area of the whole piece. His head is like a third of the whole piece, and it serves as a contrast to really make him pop. The contrast between the green and the brown. Green and red are complementary colors. Very close on the scale, you've got orange and blue. And Grogu's got blue and orange tones in him. So naturally it creates amazing contrast between the face and the robe, allowing his face to really pop, which was seen on the actual Yoda himself, and then emphasized even more in Baby Yoda with his little onesie. I just love saying onesie. It really is like a robe onesie. I wonder if they make those for kids, like a Baby Yoda robe. I mean, definitely as a costume, I guess. Lastly, I add some confectioner's glaze on those eyes and a little bit on the ears, which is gonna make it extra shiny and really pop. All right, Grogu, it's time for your reveal. Let's get those beauty shots. Like I said, all I wanted was to sculpt Baby Yoda. I went super in depth with the detail. I made sure not to miss anything. I wanted to nail him, and I think I did. I was really proud of this. What's even funner is that it's a cake topper, so you could actually save it forever because it really won't go bad. Look how he poses for the camera. I had to take some photos with him as well. I had so much fun sculpting Baby Yoda, especially because he's a character who really has a special place in my heart, as I'm sure he does for a lot of people. If you'd like to see me sculpt some other characters in the future, which ones would you like to see? Comment below, I'd love to hear. If you enjoyed watching me sculpt Baby Yoda, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more cake, food, and art videos. There's so much to come. If you would like to see the entire process of me sculpting Baby Yoda from start to finish, check that out on my Patreon with a lot of other fun perks that come along with that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot and fell in love with Baby Yoda again. I'll see you in the next video. To infinity and beyond! Oh wait, that's Toy Story. Bye.